Lesson 38, Part 3, is 6th grade Common Core Standard 6EE2C, evaluating expressions with specific values. We've been working on that. We did a couple of lessons prior to this and an activity that involved using this kind of knowledge, and now we're going to see some more examples of why and how we would use this knowledge that we've gained. Go ahead and copy down the title into your notes and push play when you're ready to begin. Okay, because this lesson probably will have a lot of writing involved, I'm only going to do a we do and then a you do, especially since you had an activity previous to this that kind of did the same thing. So go ahead and copy this down. I'll read it to you as you copy it and then push pause until you're ready to begin the explanation. The bowling alley has a summer fun bowling membership, which is great because I like to go bowling a lot. The membership fee is $20. Members only have to pay 50 cents per game all summer long. I joined last summer. I went bowling, that should say bowling, hold on. Okay, it's fixed. I went bowling 42 times during the summer. How much did all of the bowling cost me? Push pause until you get that copied down and then push play when you're ready for the explanation. Okay, so when you approach these, and some of these things can get really wordy and big and scary and monstrous, and they're not so bad. Start here. Start with the objective. Start with what they're looking for us to do. How much did all the bowling cost me? So we're talking about money, which you know a lot about. So how much did that bowling cost me? So what I want to do, what I need to think about is, what do I need to know how much this bowling cost? And then I can go search for the information in here. Well, first of all, let's look through here and see what information is given to me that will go along with cost. And I'm going to leave out any information that doesn't go along with cost. So it says that I did the membership. I joined last summer, right? And that membership was $20. So over here, I'm just going to make a note of it, $20 to join. And then it was going to cost me 50 cents per game. 50 cents per game. And at first, I don't know how many games there are. So it's going to be however many games, x equals games. But then it goes on to say, I went bowling 42 times. So now we know that x equals 42. So I bowled 42 games during the summer. Okay, I just changed that to games instead of times because I didn't want it to be misleading. I meant 42 is the amount of games. So 42 is the amount of games that I bowled. So now that I have this information, I can put it together in whichever way I need to make use of it. Now you've been practicing expressions, and so now your brain might sink into throwing it into an expression. But even if you didn't, even if you just reasoned it through, you'd be able to find the answer, much like some of you did in the previous activity with the arcade activity that we did. But let's go ahead and watch it get thrown into any expression and then solve it from there. So I know that right away $20 is an amount I'm paying for sure. So $20 will be paid. Plus I will also be paying 50 cents per game, 50 cents. And that's for every single game that I play, no matter how many games that I play. So it's 50 cents plus 50 cents plus 50 cents plus 50 cents plus 50 cents, over and over and over again for however many games, X amount of games that I play. Well, as you know, repeated addition is actually multiplication. So we'll say 50 cents times, remember when that number is next to a letter, it's multiply. 50 cents times X, X meaning however many games I played. So that would be how we would come up with an algebraic expression if somebody was asking us, can you come up with an algebraic expression for this? Well, that's how we would do it. Now you would have done the same thought process maybe in your brain without having it written out in an algebraic expression. You could think it through. But there's what the algebraic expression looks like. Now, when you get further information, like you did here, I went bowling 42 games, Now you know exactly how many games it was. So we just plug in, instead of x, we plug in 42. So we have 20 plus 0.50 times 42 equals, and now we just are ready to do the math. Now remember, in order of operations, from here we need to employ our order of operations skills so we do things correctly. There are no parentheses, there are no exponents, but there is some multiplication, so we need to do this first. This is 42 times 0.50, or 0.50 times 42. As we get into the next lesson, we'll talk about commutative property, and you've talked about it previously, but multiplication is commutative, meaning I can go in whichever order I wish. So let's go ahead and do 50 times, 0.50 times 42, and I don't have any room at the bottom, but hopefully your paper has more room. I'm going to do this up here, 0.50 times 42. You have 0 times 2, which is 0. 2 times 5, which is 10. Placeholder. 4 times 0, which is 0. And 4 times 5, which is 20. And that gives me 2,100. But I'm not done, because look over here, there's that baby in the car. 2 spots in, make sure you bring him in 2 spots in. So it's $21.00 I paid for bowling games, which is the same as $21, right? I don't need to put and 0 cents if it's just 0 cents. So down here I'm going to write $21. Cross off what you did and bring down what you didn't. Multiplication division is done, and now I'm on add subtract. 20 plus $20 that I spent plus another $21 that I spent equals $41. So how much did all the bowling cost me last summer? It cost me a total of $41. All right, now this is the you do, so it's your chance to see how you do on this sort of thing. This skating rink has a summer skating club. The membership fee is $15. If you are a member, each trip to the skating rink only costs you $1.50. I joined last summer. I went skating 34 times. How much money did I spend on skating over the summer? Go ahead and finish copying that down, and then try and solve it and see if you can find out how much skating I did over this, or how much money I spent on skating over the summer. Remember, key in on this last sentence, the question it's asking you, so that you know what you're looking for. How much money did I spend on skating over the summer? And then dig into all of this to find what information is needed so that you can solve the question that it's asking you. All right, now you have an answer, and hopefully you have an answer, and I'm going to go ahead and dig into this and see if we get the same answer. So the question was, how much money did I spend on skating over the summer? So we're talking about money that I spent on skating. And I joined a membership for the skating, and that was $15. So my membership was $15. And since I was a member, each trip I made to the skating rink was $1.50. So skate day equals $1.50. Okay. I joined last summer, and I went skating 34 times. So how much money did I spend? Well, I know for sure that I spent this $15. So that was $15 right away. And then for every time I went, it was $1.50. So it was $1.50 for one day, and then plus another $1.50 for another day, plus another $1.50 for another day, over and over again, repeated addition, which is multiplication. It's $1.50 times every time I went, but I don't know yet how many times I went. Well, I do, but that's the algebraic expression we'd start with. Now, if I'd stopped there, I joined last summer and that was it, then that's as far as you could go. You could say, well, it's going to cost you 15 plus $1.50 times however many times you went. That'd be done. You'd be done. But I went on to say I went skating 34 times. So now you know that X, the amount of times that I went, is 34 times. So we're going to plug that bit of information in. So I paid $15 and I did $1.50 times, now we know that X is 34. And from here you just use the order of operations. There are no parentheses, there are no exponents. Multiply comes first. That is $1.50 times 34. So I do my calculation. 0 times 4 is 0. I almost said 4. Nice. 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. Pete, cross off what you did there. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Add those together. 6 plus 5 is 11. 4 plus 1 is 5. Now don't forget your decimal. Now that I'm at the answer down here, decimal, the baby in the car, 2 spots in, none over here, so it's a total of 2 spots in. So that's $51.00. So we'll just call it $51 because we don't need to say 0 cents. Bring down what we didn't do. And I've cleared all the multiplication division. So I have spent $15 for the membership fee. Then I spent $51 all those times I went bowling. And altogether, that ends up being $66. I spent $66 bowling over the summer. Hopefully that's the answer you got. If not, you can review either of the 2 explanations if that helps, or you can come see me and have me explain it further. If you feel like you've got it and you're ready to try the closure, come get those closure questions from me so you can give it a try.